our textbook, the last page. We'll take Deuteronomy reading.
Deuteronomy reading, okay.
Yeah, I share my screen with you. So we shall take Deuteronomy 6, 4 and 5. So you have on your last page, last section, Biblia Hebraica, Stuttgartensia. Let me read for you. 6, 4. Shema Israel Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Yehad. Once again. Shema Israel Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Yehad. Next verse 6:5. Va ahavta yet Adonai. For the Jews, we are reading from Deuteronomy 6, 4 and 5. So you may take page number 36 from the textbook, the last section.
Okay, Father.
Okay, thank you, Father. 6:5. Va ahavta yet Adonai Elohecha v'kol levavacha v'vachol nafshecha v'vachol ma'odecha. Once again, 6:5. Va ahavta yet Adonai Elohecha v'kol levavacha v'vachol nafshecha v'vachol ma'odecha. Once again, 6, 4 and 5. Shema Israel Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Yehad. Va ahavta yet Adonai Elohecha bechol levavacha v'vachol nafshecha v'vachol ma'odecha. Let me explain to you. Shema. So this first word, Shema, this triconsonantal root means to listen to or to hear. So listen also implies obedience in our South Indian languages, where the very fact that you listen to somebody means you obey somebody. That's the same word. So Shema can mean both to listen and to obey. Israel, the people of Israel. Adonai, it is written as Yahweh, but is pronounced as Adonai because the Jews don't take the name of God in vain. So they always retain the words written as Yahweh, but pronounced as Adonai. Adonai is my Lord or our Lord. Then Eloheinu, Elohim, when it's added with Nu, then it becomes our God. So like Immanuel, if you look at the word Immanuel, there, Imma-nu. So Nu is addition for us. That's why we translate Immanuel as God with us. So wherever there is a Nu suffix, it implies that it's a first person plural. Eloheinu, our God, one God. So Ehad, the last one, Ehad is one. If you remember, we learned this word in Genesis 1:5, where the first day, that Ehad. So Ehad can mean first and Ehad can mean one. So it can mean both an ordinal number and a cardinal number. So once again, here Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, the Lord, our God, is one God. Then next one, 6:5, ver and ahavta. Ahav means to love. So in our last class we said ohev. Ohev means loving. Ahav, that's the triconsonant for love. va ahauta, that is addressed in plural, ahauta, et, object marker. Love, what is the object? Adonai. What type of God? Elohecha. So if you look at the first, that is 6-4, here it is Elohenu. Elohenu is first person plural. Elohecha, this suffix, echa, is the second person plural suffix. So Elohecha, your God. Behold, be means in, kol, all. In all, le, vav, with all your heart. So here in literally it means in all your heart. See again here ha. This is a suffix for your plural. With all your heart and u vaha. Sorry, u vahol navsheka. Nefesh. Nefesh is the spirit or the soul. So nefesh, the Jews thought that it resided in their throat. That's why when we die, our throat, our mouth opens because that nefesh disappears. So nefesh is here something they thought that it was residing in the throat, nefesh. Then uvahol and in your mevodeha. So mevod means here it's strength. So mevodeha, your strength. So with all your heart, with all your soul, nefesh, some people translate as soul, and with all your soul and with all your might. So if you look at this one, lavabaha, so from Hebrew perspective, lev, that heart is the place where the emotions are seated. So heart is the emotions, and nefesheka, that's the will point of view. So where our will was present, and the last one is where our might. So in a way, that's a very beautifully like your entire being. You have to think about God, like your emotions or your mind, your will, and your body. So body, mind, and will. This combination is very well brought out here. Good. Any doubt with this verse 6, 4, and 5? Mr. Terence, you would read 6, 4.
6-4.
Yes.
Samai Israel.
Shema.
Adonai. Shammai Israel. Adonai. Elohinu. Adonai. Ehad.
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 Very
Ehad.
good. Continue. 6, 5.
Va Achavda.
Very good.
Et Adonai.
Elohecha.
Elohecha.
Very good.
Elohecha.
Bechol.
Pegol le
Le Vavacha.
Vavaha.
Le Vavacha.
Pegol le Vavaha.
Very good.
Nu pehol.
U Vechol.
Nu pehol. Ne Navisheha.
Navshecha.
Navsheha. Okay, that is small. I mean,
since it's a short, it is silent. Okay, good.
Navsheha. Nu pehol.
Very good.
Mehadoha.
Slowly.
Mehadeha.
Mehodeha.
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 Mehodeha. Very good. Super.
But mehod means very, no, Father?
No, the spelling is a little different. We'll come back to that.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Father.
Thank you. Good. Okay, good. So somebody else will hear one female voice. Mrs. Karen, you will read for us.
Shammai.
Yes. Israel.
Shammai Israel. Adonai.
Very good.
Elohim.
Elohenu.
Elohinu.
Very good.
Yehad Dar, यह यह यह
व ahauta,
व व ह
व
et
ahauta,
व
six
ahauta
five. Yes, ma'am. 6 5. V
six
ahauta.
five v'havta et
Yeah.
Adonai
Mm.
Elohe ha
Eloheha,
bechal
Behol,
le le
yeah.
leva ven bu bechal na pe sha napesh bu bu bek bu bechal me o de ha
Mevodeha.
me o de ha.
Very good. Super. So in our vocabulary, we studied that mevod. Mevod means much or very. It has to do with the quantity. So that much or very has a reference to strength also. So much of strength. So in that way, it is mevod. Though in earlier we studied it is an adverb. For example, mevod yafe, very handsome, very beautiful. So there it is adverb. But as an adverb, when it's personified or it becomes a noun, it can mean might. So that's the implication here. May worth. Okay, good, very good. This is the first reading of the day today.
Thank
So
you, Father.
yes, okay, good, very good. So we continue with our lesson, and I appreciate you for your hard work, and you have brought out well the quiz. You have done very well. So congratulations to all of you. And I have given you the comments and I have given you the marks in a separately to each of you. So very good. So keep well, keep doing, and I appreciate you all. Very good. And Father Jose has written the transliteration also. Like we didn't do it, but still Father has done very well. And in my personal discussion with Kumar, Kumar also had sent that he is also doing, and is I appreciate his work also. And Mr. Terence, and I appreciate you for your very good and very good handwriting, and you have written so well. And Mrs. Karen, thank you for reproducing in Hebrew and writing. So good. All of you have done good work. And
Thank you for your teaching, Father.
good. Mrs. Joyce, you could send us also. Okay.
Thank you, Father.
Very good.
Thank you, Father.
Thank you,
And
Mrs.
I
Karen.
sent today, Father.
Okay, okay, good.
Thank you, Father. Thank you.
Thank you, Father Jose. Very good. So here we go. So very simple. So we'll quickly revise whatever we have seen, and we need to revise 8 and 9, less that days 8 and 9. Then we get into day 10. Just I quickly run through the day 8. Very good. So this is the active participle that from day 8, what we need to remember is this. Like we have active participle, we called it as verbal adjective, that it functions like an adjective because it is declined like an adjective in gender and number. So we have here masculine, feminine, singular, plural. Look at the word here. Sorry.
Hotel is there for the now.
I think all the rest left. He's still there, but he's stuck.
Yeah, I think maybe some
Masculine
network
singular.
problem.
Yeah, I think some network issue. 1 minute. Yes. Are you able to see now?
No.
We are able to see you, but not the
Screen.
text screen.
Now?
Yes,
Yes,
Father.
Yes, now we can see the
Okay.
screen.
Very good. Thank you. So Yoshev, Yoshevet, Yoshevin, Yoshevoth. So this is a learning point from lesson 8. This we will remember today because today we are going to see 3 more different ways of forming participles. So just keep this in mind. Yoshev, Yoshevet, Yoshevin, Yoshevoth. And the rest we quickly run through. So this is the formula. Kotel, Kotelet, Kotalim, Kotelot. So we have tried with the verb, the triconsonantal, katal, to means to murder or to kill. So these are the endings. So this we saw how it functions like an adjective, like haish, hakotev, attributive, article, article, haish, kotev, article, no article, predicative. Very good. Then we have seen object marker. Object markers, how they function in sentences, we have seen. And this is the vocabulary of lesson 8. Peyene, Holech, Yoshev, Ohel, Ler, Yel, Nothen, Kotev, Shofet, Yet, Kiswoth, Kisse, Malach. And we saw the sentences as well. And we saw 6 sentences. Now we will randomly see some sentences. Sentence number 9. Okay, somebody would read sentence number 9. May I ask Mr. Kumar to read? Ha'am.
Aham, Yoshev, Ba Aaretz, so Ba Aaretz, A Kedola.
Very good. How would you translate?
The people
Very good.
are sitting
Very good.
in land,
Okay.
in land,
Hmm.
in the great land.
In the great land. Okay.
Yes.
In the great land or in the big land. Kadolat. Okay.
It's a predicative statement. The people
Very
are
good.
sitting in great land or big land.
Yeah. Good. Super. So
Thank you.
here Kadola, okay, supposed to be Kadola. It's a spelling mistake, but Kadolat, that ending also is possible. Very good. So good, Mr. Kumar, you translated well, and it's a predicative. Very good. So Yoshev is sitting or dwelling. Okay, let's take 10. Mrs. Karen, Haish. Maybe you could unmute.
Sorry, I'm reading away.
Okay. Haish.
Haish va Haisha Yoshevam Bayer Ha Ra Et
No, Ha Ra
the
A.
Ha Ra A
Ra A.
the men
Singular.
and the man and the woman are sitting
Very good.
in the
Yeah, in the.
in the
Very good.
bad city.
Yeah, bad city or wicked city. The
Wicked
man
city.
and the woman are sitting or dwelling or living in the wicked city. Very
City.
good. So good. So that is lesson 8.
Father?
So lesson 8, in lesson 8, we just saw only the active participle. Okay, now we go to the next lesson.
Father, one question.
Yes, Mr. Kumar.
Why there should be Yoshavim? Because it is a singular men and woman.
Okay, so here together, man and the
Okay.
woman.
So actually, the masculine is dominated, but it is
Yes,
also
masculine dominates.
dominated, but it is also indicating that men and woman. It's two factors are there. That is why it is plural.
Yeah, man and woman. Yes, correct.
To be
Correct.
honest, if the masculine is dominated, it is only to indicate the dominated masculine. It should not be plural, right? But since it is woman and men, it is plural. Right?
Yes, woman. Since woman and men, it's plural. Correct.
Right. Thank you.
Suppose if it were to be ha anashim, va hannashim, it will be still yoshvim.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
Yes, yes, Kumar.
Right. Thank you.
Good. Thank you. Very good. Super. So now let's go to day 9. So the other day we were looking at learned in lesson 5, the prepositions in, to, unlike, and the preposition from, the comparative and the relative are shared. We just stopped with the preposition from. We'll quickly revise. Number 1, what we saw last week was that when a word begins with Shuva, like Yerushalayim, when it has to take a preposition like ba, la, ka, what happens? In ba, there is something change that happens that Shiva affects. So Yerushalayim becomes Birushalayim or Lirushalayim or Kirushalayim. Another example we saw was Shemuel, there, Bishmuel, Lishmuel, Kishmuel. So there is a second type. So in the first one, the Shiva drops. But in the second instance, the Shiva remains. So if you look here, so we have here the first, so here Yerushalayim, but when it comes to Birushalayim, that Shiva for the Yod completely is removed. But here Shemuel, Shema is retained. So in some places Shema is dropped, in some other places Shiva is retained, like in Shemuel. But just for the timing, you'll understand that B, Li, Ki, B, Li, Ki. So it would mean in Samuel to like. So in to like. So just to let's remember that. And there are certain instances where there is no change happening at all, like Ba'ir, Ka, Malak, La, Ish. So only when there is a Shua at the beginning, the change happens. Otherwise, the change does not happen. Good. Now, having said that, went on to see the preposition min. Preposition min has two functions in the sense, like a preposition, it functions to mean from. But also it is used for comparative degree, that something is better than the other. For example, this book is better than that book. So here I compare two books in terms of goodness. So here what happens, that from is used in Hebrew, while in English we say than. This book is better than this book. Actually, when we say this book is better from that book, so that is how Hebrew understands comparative degree. So min has two implications. Number 1, directly as proposition, like from. For example, from the king, from the woman, from the man, that is from. The second implication or the second meaning is that it refers to the comparative form, comparative degree of adjective. We'll see that in the next slide. So for the time being here, we hear how when min is added, it behaves. Number 1 rule is, before the definite article, this preposition, that is min, may have either the form may, which is joined directly to the following word, or min with the markup, which is usually joined to the following word with the markup. So you look at the example here, from the king, it's given min markup ham melek, or it can be written may ham melek. So let us put this in the board. So now we are looking at min. So this is min. So this is preposition. It has two forms, that is may or another form is min with a markup. So suppose we have Melek. So Melek, so this can have, just you can add Melek to mean from a king. Suppose you have to add the article, then the article is here. Melek. So in front of that, you can add either this form or this form, min with the marker. That is rule number 1. And rule number 2, it says, if you see in your note, before nouns beginning with a guttural or, it has may. So I'll explain to you here. Suppose we have here ear. Ear is city. So it takes just may ear from a city. May ear. And the next rule was, first when we have to add with any other words, it becomes like an article. Suppose here we have Melek. And it becomes like mim Melek. That is me plus doubling of the first consonant. Mim Melek. So 3 forms. Number 1 is here. This one. Number 2 is here. Number 3 is here. So when there is a mem at the beginning of any noun, we can easily conclude that it is preposition from. And preposition from can mean directly a preposition, or it can imply a degree of comparison. So when we look at the sentence, it will be clear. So we go back to our slide here. Okay, so this is the third instance. I said before all other nouns, the form is me plus the doubling of the first consonant. Good. Now we take the comparative. Let's take this example. You may follow from your book or you may follow the paint. Good. Okay, let us clear the board. Now we are going to see comparative. You may follow from either the slide or from the pane. Ha ish, ha kam, me han na ar. Let us write this. Ha ish, Hakam. Hakam is wise. I break the sentence. Ma hanna ar. Okay, look at the sentence here. Ha ish, ha kam, ma han na ar. So literally it means ha ish. So ha is here. Ha is the definite article. Ish, the man. Ha kam is wise. Suppose we have to translate only the first line, like you close the second line and first one, it will be ha ish ha kam. The man is wise because there is no article here. So article, no article, predicative. But there is another additional phrase here that is me han na ar. Han na ar. Na ar is boy or young man. Han na ar is the boy or the young man. And me is the preposition which is added, which means from. So here the sense is the man is wiser than the boy. So I write here the man is wiser than the boy. So this is the meaning here. The man is wise. So literally, we don't change anything here. Look at in English, wise becomes wiser, but it does not happen here. But just we add may. By adding may, it becomes may han na ar. Ha ish, ha kam, may han na ar. Just you by adding the preposition may, it changes the meaning. May hanna ar. Good. Now let's take one more sentence. The woman is more beautiful than the girl. Let me clear the board. The woman is more beautiful than the girl. So let's write. The woman. Ha isha. So the woman, Haisha. Then beautiful is Yafa. here the woman is beautiful. And we add one more than the beautiful, more beautiful than the girl. So for girl is Han Naara. So Han Naar is boy. Han Naar is boy. So it changes to Han Naara, that is girl. So just you add a shwa here. Then it becomes Han Naara. So now what we add? We just add may. So when you add may preposition, the meaning changes. Changes to what? It changes to the woman is more beautiful than the girl. The woman, actually literally it means the woman beautiful from the girl. But when we dynamically translate, it becomes the woman is more beautiful than the girl. So this is how they would compare two things in Hebrew by adding from. So this happens in our own languages as well. Like we don't say, we don't add anything. Either we use an adverb or we touch with the noun, not necessarily the adjective. Haisha, Yafa, Me, Han, Naara. Very good. Then it can also mean two. So that is the second. I hope the second instance is clear. The first one we said the man is wiser than the boy. The second example is the woman is more beautiful than the girl. Now let's take one more. There the meaning slightly changes. Suppose we want to say the work is too hard for the man. Hard work So here, suppose we use in English this sentence like the exercise is too difficult for me. So here we use this. When do we use too difficult? Means too difficult that I can't do it. So this is the implication. So here we have too or too far. Suppose too difficult to do or too difficult for me to do. So we have two expressions in English, too or too far. The same thing is here rendered in Hebrew by using min. So min has two. Earlier we said it's used for comparative degree, but it's also comparative, but in terms of checking one's ability. So now let's clear this. And I will give in Hebrew, then it will be easy for you. The sentence is same. Okay, so let us put here. look at the slide in your earlier class note, or you can follow the paint. Kasha. Kasha is difficult. Kasha. Okay, difficult. Then for a word for work is avoda. So avoda, we add article ha avoda. So this is ha avoda me haish. So we just add haish. Okay. So here literally it means the work difficult man. By adding may here, so the meaning changes to what we have in the translation. So it is not the work is more difficult than the man, but we have to translate it as the work is too difficult or too hard for the man. But the sentence construction is same. So it has two meanings. Like only when we render in English, it becomes little complicated because it can be translated as the work is more difficult than the man. But actually that is correct because work is more difficult for the man. What does it mean in English? It means the work is too difficult for the man because the work becomes more difficult. So when we write the same, like in a comparative degree, but when we translate, it can be both more than or it can be too far. So these two translations are possible. Here it is more fitting translation is the work is more difficult, sorry, the work is too difficult for the man. So it follows that too difficult for the man that he can't do it. Okay, this is what we saw or we are supposed to do in the previous class. That's the comparative. So the comparative has two meaning, wiser than or more beautiful, that is comparison, or too difficult to do. Here. Any doubt with this comparative degree? Okay, good. Good. So we take now 2 minutes break, then we resume. Good. Here we continue. Any doubt with what we have seen so far? Comparative. Okay. Yes, Mr. Terence.
No further, no doubt. Only this one has the verb can also can come first.
Yeah,
It's not
adjective.
noun.
Adjective can come first. Adjective can come first.
No, then the sentence.
Yeah.
For example, in the sentence which you are showing, the
Yes.
work is coming next. Hard is coming first, right?
Yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. That's why you said the adjective. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yes, sir. So like in our own languages. So
Okay.
அழகா இருக்கிறான் அவன், அவன் அழகா இருக்கிறான், அவன்
Okay. Okay.
இருக்கிறான் அழகா. So anywhere. So adjective can be in any place.
Oh, thank you for that.
Okay. So in our own languages it happens. Like we can even in European languages. For example, suppose I want to say that the girl is beautiful, so I can say la ragazza è bella. So I can also say bella e ragazza. So a ragazza bella. So in European languages or wherever the means the declension is possible for the adjectives, that this type of replacing or misplacing or putting in different places is possible. Only in English it's a little tricky because in English adjectives don't decline, they remain the same for all. Very good. So now let's go to the last concept of the previous day, that is relative pronoun. That's very simple. The concept is simple. Let me explain. Relative pronoun. Suppose we have a sentence here. The king is writing. So here it simply is a sentence. It tells a writing is a participle adjective, a verbal adjective. Suppose we have here the king who is writing is David. Here actually our the king who is writing is David. So here who is a relative pronoun there, because it tells the relation between the David, so between David and the king. So who is David? The king who is writing is David. Suppose we have a ordinary secular example, means out of Hebrew. The boy that you met on Sunday is my brother. But actually the meaning is the boy is my brother. But there is a clause in between, that you met on Sunday. So this clause is connected by a pronoun that. So that is a relative pronoun. Who is a relative pronoun, and which also is a relative pronoun in English. Suppose we have here the book which is on the table is not mine. The book is not mine. That is a direct sentence. Which is on the table. So the book is related to the table. So that which tells a relative pronoun because it tells the relation between the book and the table. So that's a relative pronoun. Now let us render the same in Hebrew. The Hebrew word or a Hebrew particle for relative pronoun is asher. Asher. Let me clear the board. So you have in your previous day note asher. So we write this way. Asher with the shua. Asher. Asher is a relative pronoun. It can be translated as who, which, that. Let us render it in a sentence. Suppose we want to say the man who is in the city. So we write Haish Haish and we continue with this Asher. Haish Asher Bair. So look at the sentence here. It can be translated as who is in the city. Suppose if you remove Asher, it is Haish Bair. The man is in the city. But suppose you add Asher, it becomes the man who is in the city. So Asher here it means relative pronoun who. Suppose we take one more example. The people that is are who are in the land. Or we take a feminine counterpart. Suppose we say the woman in the temple. The woman Aisha So Aisha, the woman in the temple. Bahekal. So here it now means the woman is in the temple or the woman is in the palace. Suppose you add here Asher. So you add here the woman who is or that is in the temple. So here we add Asher. The woman who is in the temple. Haisha Asher Bahekal. So here, why did we take a feminine counterpart? To show that Asher does not change as in English. For masculine, feminine, masculine singular, masculine plural, feminine plural, the relative pronoun does not change. The same is retained in Hebrew. Haish, Asher, Haisha, Asher. So it does not become Ashera. It remains same. Haisha, Ashera. Sorry, Asher. Sorry. Very good. Haish, Asher, Bair. Haisha, Asher, Bahekal. Good. So these are the three concepts. Comparative degree in two forms, that is comparing two things or making it two construction. The next one is relative pronoun. With that, let's look at the vocabulary of the day 9 and we'll try to understand. Let me share the screen with you. First one is Zahav. Zahav means gold. Zahav, gold is a rare metal. This gold was used for especially vessels in the temple. So Zahav is gold. Then Hokma. Hokma is wisdom. Hokma. The Greek rendering would be sapientia and the Latin rendering would be Sophia. So all related to wisdom. Then we have Kesef, third word. Kesef means, it can mean two things, silver or money. So earlier, the money was in silver coin. So Kesef can mean silver or money. Like Joseph was sold for 20 Kesef. That's a Kesef. Shekel. Shekel is the denomination of it, but in general, it refers to money. Kesef. For example, cash. Cash is a general word. Rupee is a denomination. It's Indian. So cash is general. Euro can be a European currency. Dollar can be US currency. That Kesef is general word for money. Then avoda. If you remember earlier, Yeved. Yeved we have seen. Yeved is a servant. Avoda means what a servant does is work. Avoda. Then Yetsa. Yetsa. It's a Sade. Yetsa means advice or counsel. Once again, Zahav, gold. Hokma, wisdom. Kesef, silver. Avoda, work, task or servitude. Yetsa, counsel or advice. It continues. Yakar. Yakar is adjective. Yakar means precious. Precious. So it's in Italian also we have cara. Cara or caro means caro is for masculine. Cara is for feminine. So cara is precious, dear. Yakar. Then yashar. Yashar is just or upright. So a person who is just and upright. For example, in the New Testament, we have Joseph was a just man. Joseph was an upright man. So in Hebrew, it will be yashar. Yashar means simply it means straight. Means there is no bending. So a person who is upright means she does not compromise for anything. That is yashar. Then satik. Satik. Satik is righteous. So these two words are very common in prophetic literature. That justice and righteousness often we hear. Justice and righteousness. So just as today with the yashar and satik, righteous. So for these two adjectives often refer to God. So these two are adjectives. Then kashe. Kashe is difficult, hard or harsh. Suppose the work is difficult. So it's in terms of difficulty, not in terms of hardness. For example, the stone is hard. It's different hard. But the work is hard. So by hard, we mean the difficulty involved. Harshness. The Pharaoh was harsh on the people of Israel. That is kashe. Then we have rasha. Rasha means evil, bad or criminal. There is another word like in Syriac word, rasa. Rasa is actually art. So rasa is a taste. Rasa is different. So this is rasha. Then David. That is a noun. Once again, we revise here. Yakar, yes. Yashar, just or upright. Sadiq, righteous. Kashe, difficult. Rasha, evil, bad. David, David. Suppose we want to say, David is precious. How would we say? David, yakar. That's all. Because we don't add anything to the adjective, it becomes predicative. David is precious. So David, yakar. Suppose we want to say, David is righteous. David, sadiq. Suppose we want to say, the man is righteous. We say, Haish Sadiq. Suppose we want to say the woman is precious. Ha isha yakara. So yakar becomes yakara. Adjectives are declined as we had earlier. Tov, tova, tovim, tovot. So adjectives undergo changes, but noun does not undergo change. Suppose the woman is evil. We have here ra sha. So ra sha a. So again one more a we have to add. This is for masculine. Good. Now let's look at the sentence, then it will be clear. And there are proper nouns some more. Shemuel is a gliding vowel. So it means the vowel first. It's not Yerushalami, but Yerushalayim. Then min is some of the men. So it's partitive use also is possible. Then asher is who, which, that, relative pronoun. Now let's look at the sentence. Okay, first sentence let's take. You can follow from the slide here, or you can follow from your note. Number 1, Yekara Hokuma Mit Zaha. Look at the sentence here. Yekara Hokuma Mish Zaha. So here, if you look at Yakar is precious, but what we have is feminine part. Why do we have this feminine here? Because Hokuma is feminine. Wisdom is feminine. That's why we have the Yakara. So here the wisdom or wisdom, Hokuma, precious. Wisdom is precious. And another thing is added here, Zahav. Zahav means gold. And we add here the preposition me. So when it is added, the meaning becomes wisdom is more precious than gold. So this becomes, the preposition becomes than. It's a comparative degree. Wisdom is more precious than gold. Wisdom, feminine. Again feminine, yakara. Mit saha. So me, that is me plus doubling of consonant makes this a comparative degree. Wisdom is more precious than gold. Now let's take the second sentence. Kasha ha avoda me ha anashim. Once again. Kasha ha avoda me ha anashim. So let's go one by one. Kasha, difficult. Ha avoda. Avoda means work. Ha avoda means the work. The work is difficult. Now we look at the third word. Me ha anashim. Literally it means the work is difficult from the men, or the work is difficult than the men. But dynamically we translate it as the work is too difficult for the men. May, literally it's a preposition from, but metaphorically it can be used for comparative degree or defining something in terms of too far. So here how do we translate then? The work is too difficult for the men. So the two is brought here actually. May is taken here. The work is too difficult for the men. Let's go one more, then we will see. Okay, number 7. Father Jose, will you please read for us number 7? Tova.
Tova. Hakma. Mekesen.
Mekesen. Okay. So you translate, Father, one by one. Tova. How do you understand Tova, Father?
Tov is good. So Tova is about feminine. Good.
Okay, very good. For feminine adjective. Tov. Good, very good. Next one.
Hakma.
Hokma. Okay.
Hokma is wisdom.
Wisdom. So it's a masculine or feminine, father?
Hakma. So it is feminine.
Very good. Okay. Now let's
Then
go to the third one.
Hakma is there.
Okay.
Third one is
Mikesav.
Mikesev. Kesev is Kesev silver or money.
Okay.
So
How do you understand this me,
the
father?
me is I think it is comparative than.
Okay, comparative. But literally it is
So
what type of grammatical category it is?
preposition. It is.
Preposition. Okay, preposition. Very good, father. So now
Okay.
preposition, but here as
Yes,
you
sir.
said, it's used for comparative degree.
Comparative
Okay, now
degree.
how would you translate, father?
It would be like the wisdom is
Okay.
more good or better than money.
Okay, so wisdom. So here it's only hokma. There is no article. So just we say wisdom. It's an abstract noun.
Wisdom
So it does not need an article. Wisdom is better
is
than
better than money or silver.
money. So better than money or better than silver. So
Silver.
the both ways we can translate. Very good, father. So father said that Tova is feminine, hokma feminine. So wisdom is better than money or silver. Okay. Now let's take one or two. Mrs. Karen, will you read for us 8?
Yosha,
Yesharim.
Yesharim,
Very good.
Ha, Enashim.
Ha Anashim. Okay. How would you first let's identify, ma'am. This first word,
Yesharim,
Yesharim. What type of grammatical category is it? Adjective or noun?
Yesharim is sitting or living.
No. Yoshibim is sitting, ma'am. Yashar. You remember a little earlier we saw here? Yashar. This is Yashar. Yashar means just upright. Upright, it's an adjective.
Correct.
So Yoshev, Yashav. Yashav is to sit. Yashar is righteousness. It's adjective. But don't worry, we will get it. Okay.
No, I didn't
Yasharim
get
is
it.
actually grammatically speaking. Grammatical category of this particular word is grammatical category is adjective. Okay. Now let's look at this grammatical category. Ha Anashim. Okay. There are two words, ma'am. What are they? In this particular Ha Anashim.
Ha,
Okay,
Anashim is the men.
Okay, so actually we have a grammatical category
Article.
of definite article and a noun. Definite article
Noun.
and noun. So now how do you translate?
The righteous men, or the men are righteous.
Both are different. So which one you will cling on to? The righteous men or the men are
The righteous men.
Are you sure? The
No, it's
righteous
not an
men would be
accusative. So the
beauty.
men are righteous.
Yeah, correct. So the men are righteous or the men
Righteous.
are just. Okay, here. So ha anashim, article. Here no article. Therefore it will be predicative. So suppose if it were to be ha esharim, ha anashim, then it would be the righteous men. But since there is no article here, we just retain esharim is the men are righteous. Okay, good. Now, number 4. Mrs. Joyce, you will try for us number 4. The small sentence. David.
David
Yes.
Irse
Yashar.
Yashar
Mevod.
Mevod.
Very good. David, Yashar, Mevod. Okay. Now first let's understand the grammatical category, ma'am. What would be the grammatical category of the first word? David. Means is it a noun or an adjective
Noun.
or a preposition? Noun. Very
Noun.
good. Yashar, Adjective or noun or preposition? Which one, ma'am? Adjective.
Adjective. But I
Adjective.
forgot the meaning of it.
Mevod is an adverb. It qualifies the adjective. So how would you translate this? So you know the meaning. David, you know. Righteous,
David.
you know.
Right.
Very. So together, how would you say?
David is very righteous.
David is very righteous, or David is very just.
David is a righteous.
Yeah. So suppose if Mevod is not there, this sentence can be translated as David is righteous or righteous David.
Righteous.
Okay.
David is righteous.
Yes, David is righteous. Here David is very righteous. So when there is an indefiniteness, there is a little complication. Only the text decides the meaning. Okay. Now let's take one more. Mr. Kumar, number 3.
Yeah.
Yesharim.
Yesharim. Avadim.
Very good.
Me Melakim.
Me Ham Melachim. Very good.
Me Melakim. Yesharim Avadim Me Ham Melakim.
Okay. So now, Mr. Kumar, just you tell me the triconsonantal in each word. Okay. For example, the first one, Yesharim. So what is the triconsonantal root?
Yod and this Shin and Resh.
So it is Yashar. So just you can say Yashar. So here, what is the triconsonantal second? Avad. Very good.
And
third
Malak.
one? Malak. Very good. Super. So if you get that, actually you can get the meaning. So Yashar has something to do with the justice or righteousness. Avad has something to do with the work. And Malak has something to do with the rule or ruling. So if that triconsonantal root is very clear, then more or less we can guess the meaning. So here, now we go to the next one. Mr. Kumar, what is the grammatical category of this? Is it an adjective or an adverb or a noun?
It's an adjective, plural
Very
adjective,
good.
and it's a masculine plural adjective.
Masculine plural form of the adjective Yashar. And the second one, what's the grammatical category?
Avadim is again plural masculine adjective. Avadim.
Adjective or noun?
Avadim, what is the meaning for that? I forgot.
Okay, servants.
Servant, okay, right. It's a noun actually, plural noun.
Servants. The servants are the nouns.
Masculine plural noun. May
Very
is
good.
actually May is a comparative here. Then Amalek, the king.
So may by default is a preposition, but it is used for a comparative degree. Okay. So ha.
The definite article.
Very good. Melech.
The Melech is messenger.
No, that is
king.
Malak. Malak is messenger. Melech is king.
King.
Okay, so Melech is king. So here it is a plural form, masculine plural of kings. Okay. So now for any means as now the sentences become more complicated. So what we need to do is first, before rushing to the lexical meaning, we have to do first one, grammatical category. Okay, so grammatical category by mean, this is adjective, then this is noun, this is definite article, preposition, definite article, noun. That is understanding the grammatical category. Then we go to see the syntactical function. So what is the function of each one? So ha avadim, that is the subject. Yesharim, so that becomes a predicate. Ma ham malakim, that's also part of the predicate. That is the syntactical function. Thirdly, we go to the lexical meaning. So lexical meaning is Yesharim, righteous, ha avadim, the servants, me ham malakim, from the kings or above the kings or more than the kings. So now final sentence would be, the servants are more righteous than the kings. Once again, the servants are more righteous than the kings. So how do we have this more from this main? So always think more may. So mem more. That more in comparative degree. You remember that ma. So wherever there is ma, it means more comparison. So here the final statement is, the servants are more just or more righteous than the kings. Okay. Now let's take one more. Number 5. Mr. Terence, who?
One more.
Yes.
Who?
Who? No then.
No them.
Yes.
No them. Ha.
Hokma.
Hokma. The
Okay.
dot is missing, I think.
Hokma. No, it's
Hokma.
actually here. Ha. So when Shua is preceded by A, it usually becomes O. Hokma.
Oh, okay. Hokma.
Okay.
Hokma. Amelak.
Lammelek. No,
Ammelek.
La. It is Lamed. Lammelek.
Lamelak. Sorry. Lamelak. Hi. E.
No. Hayoshev.
Hayoshev. Al.
Hakise.
Hakise.
Okay, Al
Hakise.
Hakise. Okay, now first
His
let's
throats.
just I give you the meaning. Okay.
Yeah.
Who
His throats.
Yes, Taran.
Okay.
Okay, now you try first one.
Yeah.
Just tell the meaning. Who?
Who
Okay.
is he?
Who means
He.
he? Very good. So who is a personal pronoun? He.
Yes, he.
Noten,
Noten is sort of verb.
verbal adjective, participle.
Verbal adjective. Okay.
Nathan. From
Nathan.
Nathan, giving.
Yeah.
Okay, Noten is giving.
Giving.
Hokma,
And then this is Hokma is wisdom.
okay. Melek,
Melek is king.
La.
Lamelek is to the king.
okay. Yoshev,
Yoshev sitting.
very good.
The
Kisse.
sitting king. Yeah.
Last word, Kisse.
Kisse is thrones.
Okay, throne. Okay, very good. So just a moment. Ma'am, Mrs. Karen, you see here, Hai Yoshev. So Yoshev is sitting or dwelling. In sentence 8, it is Yesharim. So we can understand the difference because maybe we may be misled by this. It looks like a race. So Yoshev is sitting or dwelling. Yashar is to do with righteousness.
Right.
Okay, now we translate.
He is
Together.
the
Who? Yeah.
who is
Is
giving
giving.
wisdom to the sitting king on the throne.
To the king sitting on the
On
throne.
the
To the
throne.
sitting king on the
Throne.
Okay. So let us take this for analysis. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting sentence. It tells or it summarizes whatever we have seen so far. So I will take a moment to explain this to you. So let me share the screen.
Father, one small question, Father.
Okay, so look at the sentence here. Sentence number 5. Who notain? Yes. Yes.
My question was, here in this sentence, can't we use
Yeah.
that, what is that, relative, this one, Nasir? Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, we can use. Okay, thank you. I explain. Okay. So first one, let's take, I hope you are able to see my screen. Who notain hokma? First, let's take who notain hokma. Okay, who notain hokma? So here, who notain hokma, he is giving wisdom. So we may ask here why we don't have object marker. So any explanation? Why don't we have object marker here? We said no earlier. Whenever there is an object, there will be an yet. Do you remember why it's not there here?
Wisdom is abstract, no?
Okay, wisdom is abstract, but that's a lexical point of view. But grammatical point of view, when there is an indefinite noun, an object marker is not needed. Okay, so for example, Bereshit bara Elohim yet hashamayim. So there ha definiteness is there. That's why we use yet hashamayim. Suppose if it were to be yet shamayim is not possible. It will be just shamayim. Okay, that's how we understand here. Who noten hokma. So it's a lexical point of view, it's abstract noun. But grammatical point of view, it is indefinite. So indefinite nouns, they don't take object markers. That's the first one. So who noten. So who noten hokma. Then let's take the next part. Lam melek hayyoshev. Lam melek. So with this we'll conclude. Lam melek hayyoshev. Hayyoshev. So here, Yoshev is sitting, Chai Yoshev, Lam Melek. See, actually here, Ha is hiding. So article, it is attributive. So the sitting king. So here, as Mr. Terence said, we can also say Lam Melek, Asher, you can put that. Asher. When there is an Asher, it need not have article. So Asher Yoshev. The king who is sitting. So it will be Lam Melek, Asher, Yoshev, Al Hakise. So it can be Lam Melek, Chai Yoshev, or Lam Melek, Asher, Yoshev, Al Hakise. That's simple. On the throne. Are you getting the meaning now? So here, when ha is added, it becomes attributive, sorry, article, attributive. The sitting king or the king who is sitting. Literally, if you want to write Lam Melech, Asher, Yoshev. So we have understood two things here. Number one is object marker. Number two is attributive function of the adjective particle, the verbal adjective participle. Good. So just we have today the rest of the sentences are very simple. You can have a look at them. So we have just revised 8 and 9. And what we are supposed to do today, that is 10, that is nothing but 3 more rules for participles. I will send you the lesson. You can do by yourself. It's very simple. I'll send you the lesson. You have a look at them. And we will discuss that on Wednesday. Good. Have I made myself clear? So today, actually, we have revised participle and relative pronoun, comparative degree. Then finally, we have taken together and we have tried to see. And the lesson which we are supposed to do, that is lesson 10, has only 3 more rules for participles, like some words change. So that's a 3, but you can see by yourself. And we will explain, we'll take it for explanation again on Wednesday.